Hi everyone and welcome back to a new video on my channel. I hope y'all are doing fine. I hope y'all are doing alright. So in this video I'm going to talk to you about how to teach yourself Arabic, and I'm going to talk about all the resources I have been using or that I am still using. I've also looked up some resources which I think might be useful, although I haven't used them yet by myself. I haven't tried them yet. Today I'm going to talk about resources to learn MSA as well as some dialects. Sadly, there's such little material out there for the dialects. You will find something for Egyptian, but I don't think I've ever seen anything to help you learn the Yemeni dialect as an example. So I've been learning Arabic for some years now on my own, like I am teaching myself, so to say. And I first started learning Arabic when I was 13, and at that time I had no idea how to start, and so the only thing I ended up learning was the alphabet and some basic words and phrases. And then after a while I got frustrated and I stopped learning for years. Like at the age of 13 I had no idea how to teach yourself a language, and only 3 years ago I came back to learning Arabic. And even now that I have much better resources, I still don't learn Arabic every single day. Sometimes not even once a week. I'm all for the slow but steady progress, like in my life in general, like when it comes to many different things. Like I like procrastinating a lot. But this is also a piece of advice I would give to every language learner: to be patient and to celebrate the small steps. Especially when learning Arabic, you simply need to stick to it and trust the progress. So many things didn't make sense to me in Arabic when I first heard of them, but the more I learned, the more I saw the whole picture, and I actually recognized the logic of Arabic, because Arabic actually is a really logical language. So there are 4 main skills to work on when it comes to language learning: listening, reading, speaking, and writing. You can train them all in different ways, and speaking and writing require much more active effort than listening or reading, although there's also a difference between active and passive listening as an example, but this is a separate video, like this is going to be another video. Of course, all of this also depends on your personal goals with that language. If you'd only like to speak, you don't really need to work on the writing so much, or like the other way around, if you only would like to write in that language, you don't really need to speak that much, and so on, like you know what I mean. If you need some official certificates, you'll need all of these 4 skills, but in general your focus is your own decision. And I especially personally really like using resources which combine at least 2 of these skills. So as an example, a textbook with some audio files. One language learning course I always talk about, or like I also talked about these books in videos on my ASMR channel, are the books by Asimil. This one is called Arabic with Ease, and it's the German edition. They also offer English, French, and I think also Spanish and Italian editions. This book contains small bite-sized lessons which are accompanied by audio files, which you would need to purchase separately though. On the audio files you have native speakers reading the book's texts in a comprehensible pace, so you can listen a lot while reading the words and also their translations. This book also includes short exercises after each lesson and works with spaced repetition sometimes, so like some words will be repeated in a couple of lessons later, so to say, like you learn it in one lesson and then a couple of lessons later you will repeat it again. The Asimil books claim not to be too much about grammar, and the goal is to rather assimilate the language and to learn it just like a child learns their own native language, so to say. So yeah, they don't include a lot of grammar, but still enough to make fast progress without a lot of unanswered questions, in my opinion. Like you always need a bit of grammar in order to not spend hours just trying to figure out one tiny aspect of the language. Like if you learn some grammar, everything makes a bit more sense and it makes sense a bit faster. So yeah, I can really recommend these books to you. In general, I would advise you to get some sort of a textbook, or maybe even 2, like I always get at least 2 textbooks for every single language almost all of the time, because like this you already have a plan made for you which you simply need to follow. Like if you're only learning with YouTube videos as an example, you rarely have a plan to follow, which is like slowly progressing and slowly getting harder and more advanced. And with such a textbook, you just have like a plan made out for you, which you just need to follow. You don't need to think about it too much. And yeah, as I said, sometimes I like getting a second textbook or like even a third textbook. And I personally got this additional textbook to the Asimil book, because the Asimil book, like at first when I started, everything happened really fast and I needed more repetition and just smaller steps. I think the Asimil book alone can be enough, because they typically consist out of 60 to 100 lessons, so they are bite-sized. And also like this one, for Arabic it is bite-sized. It's not that it's too hard. I only realized this later. But if you are really lazy like me and you like to learn in really, really, really small baby steps, which require less effort, I can really advise you to get another textbook, like to always get, I don't know, 2 or 3 textbooks at the same time. Because like this, you can also often recognize familiar words or concepts, which you've already learned in the other book. So yeah, this is why I always get like 1 or 2 textbooks for each language. So yeah, this book is called Salam. It is again in German, just like the Asima book, but like this one is only available in German. So I'm just going to show you real quick how it looks like inside of it, in case you already know German and you would like to learn Arabic. I also bought this book by Langscheid. It's already a bit older and I haven't used it that often yet, and it's again, in German. And it works similar to the Asima book, like at first you have only a few sentences in each lesson, and later you have like short text and dialogues. Then you also have some exercises, and the new vocabulary is listed as well. I really like these kind of textbooks, like when you always have the translation at the same time, like one side in Arabic, like in the language you're learning, and then the other side with the language you're learning from. Because like this, I basically never actively have to learn vocabulary, because I just go over the text every other evening before going to sleep. And whenever I don't know a word, I can immediately look up its meaning in the translation. And so this doesn't only save time, like you don't need to look up every single word separately, but I also learn and keep new words in my brain much faster, like at least from my opinion. So I get this for a really good price. Like my advice, get secondhand books, especially on Amazon. Like all of the language learning books I get, which I buy the German Klettverlag, like the Salam book, were books, like I also get some of these books for other languages I'm learning. And all of these were books that got returned to Amazon. Like I got them for half or 1/3 of the original price, and they always looked as if they were new. No notes inside from the previous owner. And so if you'd like to save some money, look for returned items on Amazon. Like sometimes you can really save a lot from my experience, also not just on books, like on other items as well. And yeah, educational books, they always cost a certain amount of money, but this way of learning is still much less expensive than attending classes with a teacher, as an example. And so yeah, like if you would like to teach yourself a language, and then you're also looking for discounts and for used books or like returned books to Amazon, as an example, which got returned to Amazon, then you can really save a lot of money. Another textbook I can recommend to you is Teach Yourself Arabic. And this is how it used to be called. Now it's called Complete Arabic. This is again a bit similar to Asimil. Again, you have an Arabic text with the English translation and some grammar notes, and I think also some exercises. And I never used these books yet, but I took a look at them and they seem really good as well. So this is also one of my recommendations. Now, all of these books were either teaching MSA, so Modern Standard Arabic, or Fusha, the traditional Arabic. The Asimil book even teaches you Fusha, which is the version of Arabic with the most complicated grammar. In the Asimil book, they use the language how it's also found in traditional texts and the Quran. And the other books, on the contrary, they are teaching MSA, so Modern Standard Arabic, which is a bit more modern, basically, and has slightly less complicated grammar than Fusha, but it's still not that commonly spoken in the streets. Because one thing you need to know about Arabic, because quite some people learn this too late. Like in daily life, most Arabic speakers, they speak a local dialect. There are quite some different dialects, like there's the Egyptian dialect, the Levantine dialect, the Maghreb dialect, the Gulf dialect, the Iraqi dialect, the Yemeni dialect, and I don't even know if the Gulf dialect is like the Saudi dialect. Like you also have different dialects within these groups. So as an example, I am learning the Levantine dialect, but also here there are slight differences between the Palestinian, the Jordanian, the Lebanese, and the Syrian dialects. So yeah, like you have different groups of dialects, but in these groups of dialects you have different subcategories again, so to say. And then also in the different countries, in the different regions in these countries, you have again some slight differences when it comes to the dialects. So yeah, I'm currently learning the Palestinian dialect, and after that I would like to learn the Egyptian dialect, but I haven't started with Egyptian at all yet. And I was so happy when I found these 4 books. They're called Speaking Arabic, a course in conversational Eastern Arabic, and in parentheses Palestinian. And you can purchase them separately or in a set of 4 as the whole course. And they also come with audio files on CDs, which are already turned into MP3 files, which is what I always do with all kinds of language learning CDs, because I would never find the motivation to listen to a CD. Like I really need the MP3 files on my phone. So this book series works similarly to the Asimu books. There's an Arabic text on one page and the English text on the other page. Then some explanations again, also some exercises at the end of every lesson. But the text isn't written in the Arabic letters, but in Latin letters. And then there are also some special letters, like it's more like a transliteration. And I believe they did this like this to make sure that you can learn all exact sounds of the dialect. Because in standard Arabic, there is no distinction between O and U as an example. So O and the U, U sounds, like in MSA, it would be the same sign, or like in the Arabic script, it would be the same sign, but with the transliteration, you have, like, you can pay attention to slight pronunciation differences, so to say. And since I think in most cases you're going to learn MSA anyways, like at least a bit, like you will eventually also probably learn the Arabic script, so you can also get along in all kinds of Arabic speaking countries basically. So I think it's not that much of a problem that they don't use the Arabic letters in the book as an example. Another book series I might be working with a little later in my life are the Kallimni Arabi books. They're all called a little differently, but like there are 5 books in total of the series. And they're teaching you the Egyptian dialect, and they also come with some audio files, but like I think they are not really suitable for absolute beginners, like in Arabic. So like if you already know Arabic, like MSA as an example, then I think you can work with them. But if you have no prior knowledge to Arabic, I think it might be a bit hard to work with them without a teacher. But like this is just from what I've heard and from what I've seen so far. One last resource I can recommend to you is Lingualism. They offer a huge variety of content for Arabic learners, so like mainly books with audio files. But I've also seen some Anki flashcard sets on their website. And as an example, they've got books with random sentences for different levels in Arabic. And these books are called Random Arabic, so like Random Arabic and then like A1, so like the language level A1 part 1 and then A1 part 2 and so on, or like up to B2, different books, and they just include random sentences, but like they come with audio files. And 2 of their books I really like are Arabic Voices, so like called Arabic Voices, part 1 and 2. And these books are accompanied by audio files narrated by native speakers of different Arabic dialects. And like this, you can get used to different ways of speaking Arabic, or like of different, like of the pronunciation and expressions. And recently, they also added a book called Palestinian Voices, which basically works the same. It's a book accompanied with audio files, and different people from different regions say a couple of sentences about their lives, like introducing themselves and talking about different aspects of their life, like about family, about work, and so on. And I believe they offer such books for multiple Arabic dialects, so also for Egyptian, for Lebanese, so like definitely look up lingualism.com and maybe you're going to find something you are looking for. For learning Arabic, they have a huge variety, and then they also offer some additional languages. So yeah, big recommendation here, like since finding material for the dialects is quite hard. And so yeah, I really recommend this website to you, or like they also offer their books on Amazon. So yeah, look up Lingualism, like this is not sponsored. I just really like their books. Another way to work on your listening comprehension is to watch movies or series or YouTube videos in Arabic. Since all of these are typically in dialects, I try to focus on content with the Levantine or the Egyptian dialect, since these are the 2 dialects I would like to learn. So like if you are looking for content, try to find content like at first with the dialect you would like to learn. Like this is just my recommendation. So now I'm going to talk about some YouTube channels I watch really regularly. The first one is Easy Arabic. I regularly watch their videos and my listening comprehension has already improved a lot. The Easy Arabic team interviews people in the streets and asks them questions. Like this, you can listen to native speakers speaking really naturally, like just talking about a certain topic. Each video always comes with both the Arabic and the English subtitles. And in the videos you can hear different dialects and learn Arabic, how it's being spoken in daily life. I also like watching Anas Boukhef's videos. He always interviews different people and he talks with them about their lives. And yeah, like this you can also get to know some Arab celebrities. But I definitely still need the subtitles. And for very beginners, I can recommend Learn Arabic with Maha to you. She's Palestinian, and I also saw some videos in which she's teaching specific Palestinian expressions. So I think in general, she's probably rather teaching the Levantine dialect than MSA, like it's more about the spoken Arabic, so to say. So yeah, also a recommendation, like especially for beginners. Now coming back to books real quick again. I also got a small book summing up all the Arabic grammar, and I use it really rarely. I never really used it, but it's just good to have something like this. Like, I don't know, like actually you have all this kind of information also online, but like maybe if all electricity runs out and there's no internet for a week, like then I can just spend my time productively and learn Arabic grammar. But like, it's just always nice to have such a book, I think. And I also have a book with verb tables, which is actually also available online, like on Reverso as an example. But it's also like, it's just nice to have something like this, like especially for 1 to 5 euros. Like I've got these two kinds of books for half of the languages I'm learning, like for the ones that I learn more seriously. And yeah, like if you don't know me from my ASMR channel, like there I make videos in different languages, and I don't learn all of these languages, but like I try to learn, like I'm learning around about 10 languages, and some of them I take more seriously than the other ones. Like I don't want to say I don't take the other ones seriously. I take them all seriously, but some of them are just more of a priority to me. And so for these priority languages, I also have more books, so to say. And yeah, I got all of these books also like for really good prices, used again. So yeah, I'm just happy to have them. They don't take up too much space. So yeah. So I think that's all the resources I am using, or that I used, or that I just use sometimes, or that I use frequently. So I hope I could give you some useful advice and some inspiration to learn Arabic or like another language, maybe just language learning in general, if you want to, if that's your goal in life, to just learn a language as an example. So if you liked the video, I would really appreciate it if you would give it a like. And if you didn't like it, feel free to let me know why in the comments. And also feel free to let me know about your own Arabic language learning journey, so to say, and your goals. And YouTube channel recommendations, or also series and movies in Arabic, are highly appreciated. Like, feel free to share them in the comments. Also podcasts, especially podcasts. I'm also always looking for good podcasts. So I'm still an intermediate learner, like more lower intermediate. So I'm probably going to make an updated video in a year or two. Maybe also a separate video talking about movies or series to watch. But for today, that's all, I think. So thanks for watching. Thanks for watching until now, if you're still watching. I really appreciate it. And yeah, see you in the next video.